Natalie Ferrari, our meteorologist in the studio. And Natalie, it feels a little bit cooler with a breeze right now, but it is hot and these people are working around the clock to save their homes.
Yeah, a lot of folks working nonstop from morning to night easily. And with temperatures climbing into those mid 80s, it still does get pretty warm out there, especially in that direct sunshine. We still have 2 months of hurricane season to go. I know that's not something we want to hear, as well as the fact that there's 2 areas of interest that we're keeping a very close eye on, one of which is several hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. Another one is Tropical Depression 12. You heard me right. As of 5 o'clock this afternoon, the National Hurricane Center went ahead and issued a tropical depression advisory for the eastern portions of the Atlantic. The good news, this is going to be the shortest lived storm we have seen, at least for this week, thankfully. We'll see this actually make it to a tropical storm status. The next name on the list is Julia, so you'll likely hear about Tropical Storm Julia later this week. But again, by the end of this week, it is likely going to turn post-tropical very quickly, and it's staying well away from the United States. Then we have this area of disorganized thunderstorm activity. The hurricane hunters just got back from investigating this system. It's, again, just a few hundred miles east of the Windward Islands. Disorganized, battling a little bit of shear, and there isn't a closed area of circulation, so no real organization with it. But there is a high 70% chance by the end of the week we could be talking about our next depression or maybe even a tropical storm as it makes its way into the central portions of the Caribbean. So a lot of models do take this across the Caribbean. I know that gets a little daunting to see, especially coming off the heels of Ian, which did the exact same thing. But I will tell you, most models are actually keeping this through the southern Caribbean through the week ahead and into this weekend, actually trying to get it closer to Central America, maybe even the southern Yucatan Peninsula, but well away from the Gulf of Mexico. And that is what we want to hear. As mentioned, the next 2 names on the list, Julia and Carl. I think Julia will be the one in the eastern Atlantic. Carl could end up becoming the one that's entering the Caribbean later this week. We'll, of course, keep you updated along the way. If anything, you can actually thank these high pressure systems that keep scooting across the country and throwing these down. Those cold fronts, they may not be very impressive, but what they are doing is bringing in reinforcing shot of cooler air, drier air at that, and that allows those mornings to feel so comfortable. I mean, well below normal for this time of year, and daytime highs only made it to 83 when the normal for this time of year is 88. Live view from our Mahaffey Theater weather camera. Plenty of sunshine. There's been a few partly cloudy skies still holding on tightly. Dew points in the 60s. Usually when we get those in the 50s, that is real nice, real comfortable. And we're going to be flirting or trending that way through across much of the region as that drier air continues to sink in from the north. So a lot of dew points right now in the 60s, but give it some time. It will stay more so into those 50s ahead. That means our air temperatures will actually feel a little bit more comfortable. Right now we're seeing a lot of upper 70s, lower 80s on the map. We'll see that gradually cool down going into the 60s overnight through tomorrow morning. And I do think tomorrow morning will be a beautiful start, even through tonight and going into your Wednesday. The middle of the week, you'll notice a slight warming trend. Drier air tends to heat up just a little quicker, but don't expect a drastic warm up. I mean, we're talking about highs in the mid 80s, abundant sunshine and moisture just barely trying to sneak back in next week.